Wanted to give you a bit of an update on Pizzagate, the scandal rocking the nation right now, with Matt Gaetz apparently being investigated for possible sex trafficking. But there are a few new details today, including that while of course Matt Gaetz would lose his House seat if he was convicted of a felony, there are currently no rules addressing lawmakers under investigation. It's a very slapdash sort of thing that depends on whether the party leadership wants to act right, basically. So for instance, Kevin McCarthy says that he's gonna keep Gaetz on his committees, including the Judiciary Committee, which oversees the FBI and the DOJ, unless the allegations prove true. There's a bit of an issue there, which Ted Lieu pointed out, saying, "Dear GOP leader, you don't seem to get it. If it's true Representative Matt Gaetz engaged in sex trafficking, he needs to resign and be prosecuted. In the meantime, you can't have Gaetz sitting on the congressional committee that has oversight over the department that's investigating him." Now, in case you don't know the basics of the story though, he's been, apparently Gaetz has known for months that he was under federal investigation over accusations that he had a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old girl and paid her to travel with him. During that time, he's remained on both the House Armed Services Committee and on the Judiciary Committee. And by the way, we've learned now that the Justice Department has also been looking into whether Gaetz may have also been involved in relationships with other underage girls, as well as there are talks about investigations for a variety of different bits of corruption and things like that. Charles, in terms of what you've seen so far, and I understand there's a lot that we don't know about this, what do you think about what we've learned?
I think that for Gaetz to continue to sit on the Judiciary Committee as he's under investigation and he knows he's under investigation is the epitome of impropriety. I think that, what I will say is that while on its face, this story does not contain an outright racial element, I think that what we are looking at is white male privilege. And it's being preserved by the GOP, because the reality is that were Gaetz a woman, were Gaetz a person of color, were Gaetz a black man, that there would be calls for him to not only resign from the GOP, but there's absolutely no way that they would be okay with him remaining on a committee that oversaw the governmental entities that was responsible for investigating him on criminal charges of this nature. Like, it just wouldn't happen. Right. And so the idea that he would knowingly do this and sit on the community, on that committee, it just demonstrates a level of unparalleled entitlement and privilege to this space. I think on a larger level, the GOP is continuing to fashion itself as a joke of a party. And this is where I hate to do sort of like partisan wrangling, but here's where I think that the GOP is continuing to paint itself into a corner in terms of who it wants to appeal to, who it wants to please, and what it wants to stand for. Because from a nonpartisan perspective, you have a member of your party who's currently under investigation for sex trafficking a 17-year-old girl, and you are sort of allowing this person to function with all rights and privileges thereof. And yet you are also positioning yourselves as the party of family values, the party of morality, the party of conservative values, right? And so just from a sheer eye test, it's like, this is absurd. Like, and as you continue to delve into it and peel back the layers of sophistication and complexity around it, you see that this just doesn't pass muster in terms of who you say you are and versus who you are. And so if you're okay as a party with this level of an integrity gap continuing to be a part of your daily, usual sort of MO, then understand that you're also making it readily apparent to the people who are on the outside who it is that you are courting and who it is that you're interested in maintaining and what you really stand for and what you're really about. And like, again, I hate to politicize something as terrible as human trafficking, because I don't think that it's a political issue. I don't think that it's a partisan issue. I think it's an issue of humanity. But the GOP, in terms of sort of turning the other cheek and looking the other way, past Attorney General Barr was aware of this, like he was aware of the investigation, so much so that he sort of made it a point not to get too close to Gaetz when he was out with him in public. Like, it's just really disgusting.
Amazing.
It's really disgusting. It's really amazing in the sense that you are putting yourself out as one thing, but there's absolutely no credibility to anything that you have.
Sure.
And that's been the case for the past 4 to 5 years, as we've seen So the GOP has to continue to decide for itself, or maybe it already has decided, right? Maybe it's centrists, moderates, and leftists who have to actually understand that the decision has been made and it's been clear. This is where they are and this is where they're staying. Around what they're about and who they are, in terms of the soul of the Republican Party.
I think you're 100% right. I'm glad that you mentioned the Barr stuff. I want to keep reminding people over and over that though they're all pitching this as some sort of like deep state thing, like Barr was in on this from the very beginning. Now you can say that it's backstabbing or it's different Trump loyalists fighting each other, but it wasn't Joe Biden that started the investigation. It wasn't AOC that launched this. It was Bill Barr. And so people need to bear that in mind.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.